We start with Pulsatila today. And am I loud and clear? Hello? Am I loud and clear? Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. Huh? So, ladies and gentlemen, when I was practicing in Mumbai, that was way back from 1991 to 97. I used to one Rajasthani Guruji used to come to me. He was a religious guru, and he was my patient. So one fine day, he used to talk in his own language, which most of the times I couldn't understand. So one day he said, one fine day he said, hello. One fine day he said that 12 साल की कन्या, 13 साल की औरत. I couldn't follow him. So I said, क्या है गुरुजी? 12 साल की कन्या, 13 साल की औरत. हमने तो कन्या से शादी कर ली. Still I couldn't follow what we were saying. I thought it was a code language. Then he said, 12 साल की कन्या, कन्या is the one whose menses have not started. 13 साल की औरत, the moment her menses start, she becomes an aurat. Now, this process is very much marked in women, where the process of puberty takes place. Now, what is puberty actually? Puberty is a lot of hormonal changes which take place in a woman's life, where because of the hormonal changes, you'll find suddenly her moods, everything changes. Basically, her body, till then, there's one word in Hindi, Marathi, or quite few Indian languages, the word is called lajja. Now, what is this lajja? A boy and a girl, they playing together. As far as she has not reached a puberty, she does not realize that she is a girl. She doesn't realize. She can go hop on her father's laps, sit on her father's shoulders. You'll find her a very carefree person before her puberty. So the moment her puberty starts, you'll find suddenly there are a lot of physical changes which are taking place with the hormonal changes. She starts developing breast. She starts putting on weight around the hips. She starts putting on weight around the thighs. And then she develops the pubic hair or the axillary hair. And most important, her voice becomes more deep. And the topmost is lajja. ये जो लज्जा है, इसमें she cannot suddenly come and sit on her father's laps or on his shoulder, but she'll start confiding more in her mother. वो अपने माँ के पास चली जाती है. She doesn't come near the father anymore. She feels she can confide in her mother more than the father. Not only this, you'll find during this period, because of the hormonal changes, there are a lot of changes which take place, and one of the most important is the mood swings. Mood swings, where suddenly most of the women have gone through this, what we call, most of the women have gone through this stage, what we call the mood swings, where one moment she is happy, one moment she is sad, next moment she is quiet, the fourth moment she is crying, fifth moment she'll be isolated, sixth moment she'll be again laughing. So you just cannot make out what her moods are going to be. I still remember when I was working with Dr. Jugal Kishore, he could make out a Pulsatila because all these old people, I call them the old nuts, because actually it's a wrong word because he was my teacher. But these people have a keen eye for a Pulsatila patient. Whenever a Pulsatila girl, a Punjabi girl, used to walk into the clinic, he used to he could speak without moving his lips, and he used to say, "Ravi, इसको रुलाऊं?" I said, "हाँ sir." वो उसको पास में ले लेता था, and then he used to the moment he used to start sympathizing with her, and she used to start weeping. So she used to start weeping. Immediately she used to start weeping. So ये जो है Pulsatila का, where hello, the ये जो है mood swings, she could she could he could make her weep only by sympathizing in her. Only by sympathizing in her, he could make her weep. So this is what I tell. Always I say that you can make out a Pulsatila patient the moment she comes in, because she has got very gentle manners. Her manners are absolutely gentle. She's a mild, yielding disposition. She's mild. You feel, you feel that if you वो जो बोलते हैं ना, एक कली है, इसको पकड़ लिया तो ये मुरझा जाएगी, ये मुरझा जाएगी, इतनी सॉफ्ट कली है. She is not the typical Briannia type robust or the Pulsar type cachectic or uh, like Ignitia rigid fibered, but whereas she is soft. इसको अगर आप पकड़ लिए तो मुरझा जाएगी, इतनी सॉफ्ट है वो. मैनर्स आर सॉफ्ट, her talking is soft. I remember when I was in the school in Panchgani, one day I was late for the break lunch, and I started running towards the dining hall because the students had already gone into the dining hall, and I was a bit late. I don't know why I was late, but I don't remember. But I started running towards the dining hall, and suddenly I saw another. I was also on the fatter side, but this girl was more fatter, and she was walking very gradually. इसकी चाल जो है ना पर्टिकुलर की, इसकी चाल भी बहुत ग्रेजुअल है, मस्त आराम से चलेंगे, in their own tone, in their own style. They won't hurry at all. They are not hurried or worried. They are just mild. So she was walking very mildly, and the whole school used to tease her atom bomb. They used to call her atom bomb. She never liked it. So the moment we reached the dining hall door, almost simultaneously we reached the door of the dining hall, and I just very softly I said, "Hello, Atom." And she, the moment, तो इसका इसका गुस्सा जो था ना, वो भी बहुत gentle है. बोले, "Hey, Ravi Jadhav, don't call me atom bomb, huh? I don't like it, or I'll go and complain your name to the principal madam." So this is the way they react. Their mild yielding disposition, and while narrating their symptoms also, they can weep, they can fluent, I mean they just weep while narrating the symptoms. They suddenly, and then in in few minutes, few seconds, you will see that she is again smiling because the moods have changed. So here the mild yielding disposition is seen in Pulsatilla, and whereas what as per, because Pulsatilla was proved in the European countries, in the Western countries, they say she is a mild yielding disposition, a fair blonde. And where do we get blondes from in India? So if you don't get blondes in India, at least you can have the disposition where a girl is very soft. Even in her angers, you'll find her absolutely soft in her behavior, and you can immediately make out she's a typical Pulsatilla. You can immediately make out she's a typical Pulsatilla where she reacts absolutely very gently, and that reaction itself, the reaction itself leads you to Pulsatilla, not necessarily you have to have a fair blonde to go with, because it's very difficult to find fair blondes here. Then one more thing I noticed about Pulsatilla is, in my practice, is they just cannot enter a closed space. They also known as, the word is known as claustrophobia. बहुत सारे typical Pulsatilla जो होते हैं, they feel suffocated. They feel suffocated in a closed room. और they feel suffocated. वो मंदिर के अंदर वो जो गाभारा रहता है ना, where the main deity is placed in a mandir. So that is also a closed space. So here they cannot enter that gabara also. They'll rather prefer to hold their hands right outside that gabara, what we call gabara, जो अंदर का where the diet is kept. So they prefer to cross their hands outside the gabara, but they won't dare to enter the gabara. So much so that I still remember my mother and myself were traveling that time to Mumbai by AC compartment, and when the train left Kolhapur, he said that I would like to go and sit outside. I said, "What happened, mommy?" He said, "I can't sit here." I said, "What's the problem?" He said, "I feel breathless." So I thought it is a temporary phase. So I didn't, I allowed, I said, "Okay, go and sit at the TC seat." So till Karad, she couldn't come enter the compartment, and at Karad station, I had to book a taxi and bring her back to Kolhapur because she couldn't sit in the AC compartment because it was closed. The AC compartments, they are totally closed. So even with the AC on, she felt suffocated. So this claustrophobia is a very important symptom of Pulsatila, including when the Pulsatila has cough. She says that I feel better in open air. When she has cold, though she is a chilly patient, she says I feel better in open air. Even asthma of Pulsatila, she says the moment I go into the open air, I open the windows and I feel better. So all these things, all these symptoms, you will find in Pulsatila where she is, I will name it as claustrophobic, and she cannot tolerate closed spaces. She likes open air. So may that be a cold, may that be cough, may that be asthma, or may that be your emotions also. So have you seen a movie called Sound of Music? There's a old movie called Sound of Music, a very classic movie in English, where the there's the character which is played called Maria. This Maria is let into an abbey, a Christian abbey, what we call also the convent. So Maria goes to the convent to become a nun, but then she feels absolutely suffocated there. She cannot tolerate the suffocating atmosphere of the abbey, and she's always wandering around in the hills or in the mountains, in the spring, near the streams and all that. So she keeps on singing, "The hills are alive with the sound of music. The hills are alive with the sound of music. My heart, the hills are alive with the sound of music." Something that the song is like this, and she is just out in the open. She is singing and freaking out. She is in her own moods and wonderful. She's not meant, or she's not cut. Basically, she was not cut to be a she was not cut to be a nun at all. Because nuns have a lot of confined. There are a lot of restrictions when you become a nun. But this Maria, the songs we have sung for 1,000 years. So that's a song which goes on like that. Yeah. So she is not cut to become a typical nun. So ultimately she marries Captain Fontrap, and who has already 7 children of his own. So that is a story. It was taken during the Second World War, and it happens to be a true story because when I went to Salzburg in 1985, that the Salzburg music festival was going on, and the real Maria Fontrap had come from United States to visit that festival, and I could see her from quite a distance, but I was quite eager to see her. Of course, she is not the same character like in the films, but that why I remember this is this the Pulsatila lady. She's a windflower. She flies. She's a Schmetterling. Schmetterling is butterfly in German. So she's Schmetterling. She's flying from one flower to another, one to third flower to fourth flower. She's in her own moods, and she likes to be in a very, her manners are very, very gentle. That's why you can make out a Pulsatila just by speaking to her few sentences, and the moment she speaks, you know she is very softly she will speak. There is no harshness. Even her anger is very soft, as I told you. That's why she is known as mild irritating disposition. Then she is supposed to be beautiful, of course, but Pulsatila, if even if she is not beautiful and her manners are soft, you can think of Pulsatila. Not necessarily she has to be beauty. Then, as I told you, the changeabilities in Pulsatila, changeable moods we have spoken about. Then there is, they say no two chills alike. Sometimes she will feel chill in the evening, sometimes she feels chill in the morning. So there are no periodicity mark. So then no two stools alike. Sometimes she has diarrhea, sometimes she has constipation. Or sometimes she will have hard stools. Sometimes she will have short stools. No two menses alike. How are the menses of Pulsatilla? The Pulsatilla menses are said to be irregularly irregular. Now, what is irregularly irregular? That is not on time, and the flow is not also consistent. Sometimes it can be, sometimes it can be oh, half days, sometimes it can be 8 days. I mean, it is no consistency is not there in the flow, so that's why you'll you'll find there's irregularly irregular uh, menses. Then one more thing in Pulsatilla, what I saw was where the person. One more thing which I saw in Pulsatilla was this Pulsatilla lady. She is better by natural discharges. Now, what are the natural discharges we have? We have stools, we have urination, we have sweat. All these are natural discharges. So she is better by, and most important in a woman is the menses. So that's why it is known as premenstrual tension. Before menses, some women they really go into fits of anger or fits of mood swings. There are a lot of mood swings before menses, and the moment the menstrual flow starts, she feels relieved. She feels lightened up. She feels she's absolutely light now. She has no problem. So all these things you will find in Pulsatilla where better by natural discharges. So that shows that she wants to she is always after the menses or the moment the menstrual flow begins, she feels better. So from where do all the symptoms come from? They start at the puberty. Onset is puberty. The menses, if you ask the patient, she'll say, since puberty, I am this problem. Since puberty, I am having cold. Since puberty, I am having cough. Since puberty, I am having dysmenorrhea. Since puberty. So this since puberty, which is very important, is then since puberty, the onset is since puberty. So since my menses have started, they have always been irregular. Since my menses have started, I am having these headaches. Since my menses have started, and since. So there's one Pulsatilla or the Pulsatilla patient. I won't say woman of Pulsatilla, but a Pulsatilla, even a man can be a Pulsatilla if he's got this typical mild symptoms. So Pulsatilla patient has got a great fear of opposite sex. He has got a great fear of opposite sex. He he is just afraid of opposite sex because because here again probably this fear is also inbuilt in Pulsatilla patient. I've seen a couple of men who never get married because they have a fear of opposite sex. I have seen men also who have not got married. Now, Pulsatilla, I always say Pulsatilla is a remedy which acts on the gonads. Now, what are the gonads? Gonads are sexual endocrines. In females, there are ovaries. In males, there are testes where they have they act directly. Pulsatilla acts directly on the gonads because it is based on the hormonal changes. Now, okay, the pump gone. Reception चल रहा है. Okay, I'm sorry, the light is gone, but it is working on the. I think the light has come. No. Okay. So can you hear me, ladies and gentlemen? Can you
Yes,
hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
please
sir.
continue, sir. Please
Yes,
continue.
sir.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, sir. Yeah. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about Pulsatila and better by natural discharges, and since puberty, yeah, we are talking about since puberty. So the Pulsatila patient always keeps on complaining, since puberty, I am having this problem, and that is a turning point. Now, as I was telling you, Pulsatila has got a direct action on the gonads. Now, in my practice, whenever a person comes to me saying that he has got azoospermia or sterility, I always try to find out if he has ever got mumps. Mumps are the inflammation of the parotids, which are right behind the jaw. Here, it is under the ears. So mumps are the inflammation of the parotids. It's a very painful condition. Now, if you see mumps, they say the inflammation of the parotids, it licks the parotids and bites the testes in females, and licks the parotids and bites the ovaries in females, and licks the parotids and bites the testes in males. So why it is said so? Because mumps, after mumps, they can be inflammation of the ovaries in females or testes of the males. So it licks the parotids and bites the gonads. Now here, what happens whenever a person comes to you saying that his sperm count is low and all that? Try to find out if he has ever had mumps, because mumps is always a case in childhood where a person gets inflammation of the parotids, and if most of them, they don't know that they have got mumps. So try to find out. Ask the patient to call up his parents and find out if he ever was a patient or victim of mumps. And if he says, if the parents say that yes, he is a victim of mumps, I have got excellent results in males and females both, where they are conceived after taking Pulsatila. Because Pulsatila it is a typical complaint of Pulsatila, where the inflammation of the parotids alternates with the inflammation of the testes in males and alternating with the inflammation of testes ovaries in females. Then one more thing which I found very interesting in Pulsatila was that I still remember where in Pulsatila we have great desire for rich food. There's a great desire for rich food. Ice creams, chocolates, burgers, pizzas, pastas, cheese, cakes, pastries, thick shakes. With great desire for that. She's very fond of this rich food, though it disagrees. So that's why the high calorie food or rich food normally disagrees with Pulsatilla. And whenever I get a patient who says that I had a heavy party yesterday, so I try to find out how many drinks did he have. So if his threshold is 2 pegs and he has 3 pegs, I don't mind. But if he has got threshold is 2 pegs and we had 5 pegs and then he has a upset stomach, I will think of Nux vomica. But if he says that there were so many snacks and all fried snacks, that is greasy food, I'll always think of Pulsatilla, but not Nux vomica, because Pulsatilla, uh, though it has got a great desire for rich food, it is again it, uh, it will always bring in an indigestion after rich food or greasy food, and she says that after this greasy food, I have lost my appetite, or the moment she sees the greasy food, she may have nausea also. Now, Pulsatila, see, remember one thing, my dear friends, that what what is uh, why Pulsatila is almost why Pulsatila is almost a constitution in the pregnancy. So first and the foremost thing in pregnancy is the tone of the uterus. The uterus should have a proper tone for a normal delivery, which is not being practiced nowadays, and we're so sorry to say so. And second thing is, see, remember when we talk about the prolactin hormone is released because of the impulse from the brain. Prolactin is not released automatically. You should feel a loving bond towards the baby, only then the prolactin hormone is released. So Pulsatilla is also a great remedy after pregnancy. Whenever she has to breastfeed the child, she will feel a very compassionate or very passionate, she will feel very passionate about the child, and she will start releasing the prolactin hormone, and she will start producing a lot of milk, which is again the plus point of Pulsatilla. So and here is a very important part of Pulsatilla where I always make it a point in the later months of pregnancy, that is after 8 months, I do give Pulsatilla one dose of 30 every 8 days. So to enhance a normal delivery in case the doctor is not willing. I said doctor is the gynecologist is not willing for a normal delivery, at least she will produce proper good milk, and the child will be very much satisfied. So then one more thing I found in Pulsatilla was the discharges, the thick greenish yellow discharge. This can take place from any orifice of the body, wherever the orifices are. As I told you, there are 7 above the neck and 2 below the waist in males and 3 below the waist in females. So that makes women 10 orifices and males 9 orifices. So any from one orifice of the body will have thick greenish yellow discharge, which is bland. That is more important. All discharge are bland. What is bland again? Bland is nothing but Varan Bhat is bland. Mishal is acrid. Kharda, Zunka is not Zunka. Kharda, Kesa, मिर्ची का जो रहता है, it is acrid. Whatever is not very spicy and doesn't contain a lot of acids is bland. So bland, all these dishes are bland except the licoria. Again, there is an exception in Pulsatilla where there is an exception where, except for the licoria, all discharges in Pulsatilla are bland. Then one more thing is the thirstlessness, which is again very well marked, because she will hardly have water. पूरे दिन में she will have, say, half a glass or 3/4 of a glass of water, and she is satisfied with that much water. She won't go in for a lot of water. She is almost thirstless, and she is satisfied with less water. So there again, we think of Pulsatilla. We think of Pulsatilla whenever she drinks less water. And we have normally it takes me 5 lectures to complete Pulsatilla in the class when I take it in the classroom. But then now, because of a short time and we are having webinars, so I'm only touching whatever is important in Pulsatilla and trying to finish off the lecture. So now I am unmuting, all participants are unmuted. So if you want to ask me some questions on Pulsatilla, you are free to do so. Please ask. Any question? Hello? Any question? No questions? You understood Pulsatilla very well? My dear friends,
हाँ सर.
आज कोई आप क्वेश्चंस नहीं पूछ रही हो? No questions. Am I so good that you are convinced with whatever I am telling you? कुछ तो पूछो. Hello.
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 Yes, please. Any Pranav?
Sir.
Any question?
Hello, sir.
हाँ बोलो.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. You identify yourself and then speak.
Hello.
Yeah. I can hear you, Pranav. I can hear you, Pranav.
Hello, sir.
हाँ बोलो.
Pulsatila male patient का mind बताओ.
Pulsatila mild. Male patient is also very mild. His manners are mild. He also has got changeable moods. But see, in woman, she goes through 3 lives. First is till the puberty. After puberty to the menarche or to the menopause is the second life. And after menopause is the third life. Huh? So she goes through 3 lives, a woman. Whereas a man, if you see a man, males, they don't realize this changes very fast. But some people still develop, they still retain. Some people still retain their, feminine behavior, or they like more company of females than the males, and they have a typical trend of female traits. So those people, I think, can go into the category of Pulsatila.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Sunita, you have some question? Sunita Bajpai, any question for you? From you? Yeah. Yes, I can see your name flashing. I don't see a face.
Hello.
Yes, please.
So what about pulsatile sleep?
Pulsatile sleep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, good. Pulsatile sleep is also again a big issue because they're constantly interrupted by thoughts. There are a lot of changeable thoughts. She keeps on thinking on 100 different subjects, and that can make her sleepless because she doesn't get a peaceful sleep. And of course, if she has an open air, she might sleep well. But most of them, you'll find her sleepless because of multiple thoughts. बहुत सारे विचार इसके दिल में रहते हैं, इसके मन में रहते हैं, and she keeps on repeating the same thoughts over and over again, and she may lose sleep. Yes, please.
So religious melancholy is marked like what?
Religious melancholy. I never said religious. Pulsatila is. Remember, my dear, Pulsatila is more of a changeable character. She won't be melancholic like Ignatia or Natramur or even our Antimkrud or even Auromet. She is not a melancholic person. It is a very short-lived thing because her moods are changing so fast. One moment she's crying and second moment she's laughing, and she doesn't know why she has cried. She'll say, "I sub classes."
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Anyone else? Shall we end the lecture? Shall we end the lecture?
So in its skin, like what are the complaints? Means I have given to lot of chickenpox patient and it has given very good result.
Perfect. I forgot about to mention it. It is a remedy for chickenpox. One of the remedies for chickenpox is true, but there has to be Thrustlessness with chickenpox, and then we have another thing in chilblains. In chilblains, we give particular, especially chilblains.